John Greaves, 1602 through 1652, an English mathematician and historian, collected a considerable number of Arabic, Persian, and Greek manuscripts. He also visited Egypt, where he conducted the most accurate survey of his time of the pyramids, which resulted in the publication of Pyramidographia, a description of the pyramids in Egypt. While in Egypt, Greaves had the opportunity to collect the Arab traditions concerning the pyramids, those stories that were handed down to the Arabs from the native Egyptians they had conquered 1,000 years earlier. Much of what they told him, he refused to believe. Yet he found the accounts of Ibn Abd al-Hakum more credible than all the others. According to Arab historians of the time, the pyramids were built before the deluge. Feroz Abdi, although not very clear on the subject, states that the pyramids were erected by Idris to preserve there the sciences and prevent their destruction by the deluge, or by Sinan bin Almo, Shaishal, Sihashal, or by the first men when informed by observation of the stars of the coming deluge, or to preserve medicines, magic, and talismans. There are two versions of this tradition. In the first tradition, the story begins with the king of Egypt, Sarid ibn Salhuk, 300 years before the flood. The king, while asleep, saw that the whole earth was turned over, along with its inhabitants. People were laying face down, and the stars were falling, striking one another with a terrible noise. After he saw the first stars falling to earth, what resembled white birds snatched people up and carried them between two great mountains. Then the shining stars became dark. Upon awaking, the king assembled the 130 chief priests from the provinces of Egypt and told them of his dream. The priests discussed the matter, made their prognostication, and foretold of a deluge which would destroy the country. However, it would be a number of years before this happened. So the king ordered the building of pyramids. A vault would be made where the Nile River flows and would run into the countries of the West. Once the pyramids were built, he filled them with talismans, riches, treasures, and strange things, and engraved in them all the profound sciences, the sciences of astrology, arithmetic, geometry, and physics, as well as the words of wise men and the names of magical precious stones, their uses and abuses. In building the pyramids, vast columns and wonderful stones were cut and massive stones brought from the Ethiopians, which were used as the foundations of the 3 pyramids. The stones were fastened together with lead and iron. After the final pyramid was finished, it was covered with colored sateen or marble, and it was announced that there would be a solemn festival for all the inhabitants of the kingdom. In the West Pyramid, the king placed 30 treasures and filled it with a store of riches, utensils, signatures made of precious stones, instruments of iron, vessels of earth, metal that doesn't rust, and glass that bends. In the pyramid, he also placed strange spells, several kinds of magical precious stones, single and double, and deadly poisons, among other things. In the East Pyramid, he placed knowledge of the celestial spheres and stars, and how they operate, perfumes,